Alright guys, so this is my first presentation for this week, and we had focused on domestic issues in the United States in the 1950s, so I did mine on the civil rights movement as it was happening in the 1950s. And my first article is called Lawyers Vow to Back Civil Rights, which I got from the Chicago Defender. And the main point in this article focused on black lawyers who were working to promote civil rights, desegregations of schools, and equal rights of union members. And they had also pushed to get the AFL-CIO to follow the Teamsters Union campaign, which was happening in the South. In this campaign, they organized black and white workers in the South with equality of wages and equality of union representation. They were really just wanted everyone to be in on that equality and get the ball rolling on that. And the overall sense of the article was one of kind of determination, kind of fighting for what they wanted. And my second article comes from the New York Times. The sense of this article was a little different than my first one. This article had many more points of resistance against desegregation. The main idea was that the white Southerners felt that desegregation was unnecessary. There's a direct quote out of the article that says, "Few among the more liberal and even-tempered Southerners are convinced that the specific civil rights proposals are necessary or workable, or that they will contribute to better racial relationships. Many were not happy about what was being proposed and felt that they were losing their racial pattern too fast." And in my third article, which came from the Chicago Defender, which is titled Thousands Urge Action on Civil Rights Bills, which the main point in this article was centered around a meeting that had happened in the Olivet Baptist Church where they gathered to put on a rally to fight for their rights. The purpose of the rally was really to get them to act now rather than waiting. And a quote from the article states, "The civil rights program in questions may not include as much as all of us would desire, but we feel it is a worthy and workable program," which is the opposite of what was stated in the New York Times article prior to this, where they felt that it wasn't necessary and that they didn't need it. And my fourth article is from the New York Times again, and is titled "A Southern Liberal Looks at the Civil Rights." The major point in this article was also resistance. The Southerners were fearful and resentful of what was being proposed and felt that they needed to be re-examined. They feared that too much was being given away with these proposals, which is the opposite of what was talked about in Article 3, where they felt they weren't giving enough or getting enough. And my fifth article, titled Begin Nationwide Campaign for Civil Rights Program, which falls in line with the third article again, as it talks about the meeting at the Baptist Church. This one was different from my third article, though, as it lists what the people who were voting for civil rights wanted. And on this list, they included the program being in harmony with America's tradition of freedom, and it is a constructive measure for easing tensions and destroying unnecessary grounds for fear, as well as it is designed to protect the rights of all citizens in general and minority groups. The items on this list generally were things that people who were against the civil rights already had, so they didn't have to worry about it. And my current article is called Democracy on the March. The main idea of the article talked about voting rights, and voting rights were a big controversy during the civil rights movement. So it talks about Michigan and Florida are on a list of states that the democracy may be expanding. And there's a quote from this article that says, "Both places offer a reminder that President Trump's various attacks on democracy and the rule of law shouldn't make anyone despondent. They should inspire you to find ways to fight back on behalf of basic American values, meaning that they should just continue to fight for basic human rights and for what they believe in, despite the resistance that they are faced with. And that's my works cited. Thank you for listening.